Hey people, Shaman Hawk here for Shamanic Lodge. I hear this talk about the Second American Revolution, this Civil War that's coming up, which were two completely different things, right? So, and they have this idea about what it's going to look like. And realistically, I just see what they're imagining and comparing to what's happening now in this particular world. So, here's how I see this happening. And basically, the American Revolution, the second one, is happening right now. We have to go back, and what we also call the American Revolution was the War of Independence. Now, back then, the American people were not really an educated group. I mean, they were descendants of immigrants. They probably had their basic math skills, reading skills, but most of their life was just hacking out their existence in the forest and having their children along the way, trying to explore and learn about life as they came together, but they basically, they liked their sovereignty. They liked being individuals and they liked their having their own little piece of the world and so on. Now we can go into how the country was invaded, how the country was, conquered or stolen or whatever like that. But the truth is that, that's been happening since humanity started wandering around. And actually, a speaker, Bill Whittle, does a good video about it's called "Whose Is It?" The history of the land of the United States. And yeah, sad but true. Like all countries and civilizations, we have our dark past. But here we are now. But the people back then still looked at and goes, no, the British government is just wanting to do this onto us. And a lot of these people had never been to Britain, never been outside the continent of America, but they just knew what they had right now. And it was important to them to be unique unto themselves. And herein lies the problem of today. Today we've lost the desire to be unique. We've lost the desire to really know who we are. We rely so much on uh, advertising, social media, and everything. Like, oh, I should be like that, and then I'll be accepted. Oh, I should buy these things, and then people will think I'm cool, whatever cool is supposed to be for that particular time period. And they'll go along with that. Now, some of that's understandable because humans are pack animals. We want to be accepted. We want to learn to what's the good way to be, what's the bad way, to be, and so on. And this allows us to fit into the pack, fit into the community, because our basic instinct says that's how you survive. Rejection is death. Well, rejection is not death, especially now. We have so many things at our fingertips. We can be even more unique individuals, but yet we choose not to be. And that's what's just so ridiculous about this. So, what I see happening right now, because I really believe the second American Revolution, the War of Independence, is already in progress. And the preparation for that has been going on for a while. Right now, you know, with what we're watching through social media and everything, it's like people are pushed into, well, either you have to be this side or you have to be that side. you know, and one side, if you're not totally with their agenda, they're going to shout you down, drag you out of your vehicle if you don't want to be in their protest and beat you and whatever. And the other side is like, no, we have this image of who we are. And then there's the people in the middle. Now, most revolutions usually can start off with, those three basic groups. This side that starts it, this side that goes, no, it's not that bad. We don't have to go to the extreme, and the people caught in the middle who will eventually have to choose a side, that they go along with just for their own survival. But because the group in the middle won't come up with another plan, is because they're forced to go along with plan A or plan B. And here's also where we're at. We really have to look at what the extremes are and how to neutralize that side and how to neutralize this side. Right now, as with the other American Revolution or War of Independence, it's about one group of people wanting to control everybody. Now, in the first Revolutionary War, is the King of England. I want the world to make the world Britain. And so all the colonialism went out, and he wanted to control all the stuff, and the resources came back. Well, that's how empires work. You looted your own country, now you have to loot other countries to support your empire. And the colonists are like, no. And what's the first thing that the conquerors want to do? They want to take away the weapons of the people, as people have been trying. So when people made the Constitution for the United States, that's the Second Amendment. No. First Amendment, you have the right to express yourself. Number two, you have the right to defend the first right and all the ones after this. Because they knew how important it was. If you disarm the people, that's the first thing you do for control. The Gun Control Act of 1966 in the United States is almost a word-for-word translation of Hitler's Gun Control Act of 1936. It didn't take long for them to try that again. And they do this like every generation. As they dumb down the education system and taking especially history out of it, so you're like, wait, this happened before. This is what they're trying to do. You know, one of my best times as a young adult, I was about 30 years old in the YMCA in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I was probably one of the youngest guys in the gym at that particular time of the day. And I was probably one of the youngest guys by 30, 35 years. And these old guys would look at the news in the locker room on the TV and go, oh, they tried that shit 20 years ago. Oh, they tried that shit 40 years ago. Oh, you know, United Nations, just the same group of people, the League of Nations, way back when they were young men. So these guys were like living history lessons. And they're saying, yeah, you watch, they're going to try this next, and they're going to try this next. And they were right. So here's the thing. We have to look at history. We have to look at what these elements that wants to control. These people that want to control everybody, you know, they're not going to stop. And the politicians in there, think about what a politician's job is. Just talk all the time, blame other people for what you couldn't get done, and ask for more money. Pass laws and give yourself a raise and so on. This is what's powering the country into the next revolution, because both parties who support both sides of the extreme are blaming each other, and we the people get caught in the middle. So what we have to do to prevent any more collateral damage is we have to rise up before we're forced to. Like, we have to be a collective. All right, with collective, we have to rise up and then get the severe message to the politicians, like, you're not going to continue this anymore. Because what can happen is a lot of people are really happy that finally the police force are squashing all the looting and the rioting and so on. You know, we have to make sure we don't become a police state. Because the same people now, the same police that are saying, oh, thank you so much for your support, later on to go, by the way, we need to go ahead and take your weapons for your safety. By the way, we need you to do all these other things for your safety. We need to do a tighter control. We need more money. We need a further militarization of the local police force. Why towns, you know, that only have like 10, 20,000 people, why they need military style body armor and vehicles is just beyond me. I just don't get you. Military equipment only exists for two reasons: destroy things and kill people. Just remember that. All the nomenclature that you see in the military is to destroy things and kill people. So when you see a police force with an armored vehicle weaponized, that's a problem. They have plans for that in the future. So you're saying, okay, so how can we rise up? One of the biggest and most effective things you can do is clog the phone lines of your politician. Write letters, the old-fashioned snail mail. Write a letter, put an address, put a stamp on it, send it in the box. Just boom. They're not going to read every one. But you can even write on the outside, you know, look for another job. Your term is over. Send a postcard with it. Right? This is how we can send these politicians a real clear message. I am not voting for you. See, you don't have to use the bullets at this point. You don't have to do any bombs or anything like that. That's just stupid. That just creates more chaos and collateral damage. But everybody wrote a letter to a politician, you know, vote for this, don't vote for this, look for another job. All right, you'll make a big impact. Try it. I mean, several times in my life, I wrote to the president. I wrote a letter. You know, I haven't done it in a while, but it's like, you can do that. The address is 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C. I don't remember the zip code. But you can do that. Find out your political, whatever politician for whatever issue, and go ahead and just write that person a letter with a note right on the envelope. You know they're not going to open it up and read it, but you can write it right there, or a postcard. All right? So that's one thing. The other part about it is your news, your comments. If you're watching the news and they have a website or something like that, write a comment. Hey, you're bullshit. You know? Hey, stop being so biased. How about some real news? Or if you have a TV, just stop watching it. That'd be the first thing I'd recommend. Look at the political message that we're sending the NFL. Those people are losing big, big money. Less than half of the people that turned out last year for the first big game of the season, yeah, I mean, that's a lot of cash that they're just not getting. You know, booing teams, that's a political message. You know, celebrities, stop watching their videos, stop buying their CDs, stop doing that. Your strongest vote is your money, what you don't buy. We sent not long ago a strong message to Netflix when they got a new CEO, and cost that company almost $1 billion when everybody said, you know what, I'm not going to give you my $7 a month. What do you think of that? And it cost them a lot of money. So there's a lot of ways we can do this. With all the social media platforms, one of the things we can do too is get with someone from another race and another culture, do a duet, you know, on TikTok, do something else that comes up and just says, hey, you know, we're together. Me and the black guy, me and the Latino guy, the Chinese guy, this is what we're doing together. Do community efforts together. Invite the other races in there. Invite the other cultures for beach cleanup, neighborhood cleanup, community gardens, all this other stuff, and get together as we're supposed to be as Americans. People, the United States of America has always been a symbol of freedom throughout the world. And the comments that I've heard so many times is, if you guys fall, you know, there's no hope for any of us. Think about that. That's important. They hold us in that high of a regard. We also have to go back to showing how we're unique. And one of the things that Americans used to be really keen on is the American adventure. You know, doing something that was really great. Everybody, I mean, I made a quick video on TikTok about how, as a kid, you know, we were looking for the big adventure. We were looking for something. Bike riding. You know, we're going to bike to the next state. You know, we're 14 years old, right? Camping out in the woods for the winter for a month. You know, all these things. Of course, we're the same generation, and some of us even today leave home without a phone. Oh my God. You know, I taught my daughters to read a map. We have to go back to some old basic skills. People, they'll spend so much time, hours and hours. They'll tell me, I'm trying to change my life. I don't know how to change my life. Well, how much time do you watch TV? Just a couple hours a day. That's a couple hours a day you could spend on your dreams, learning skills, things like that. We've become that people. We've become that country that just likes to sit and watch things. We're not doing anything. People, we put the world on, I want to say on wheels, but the wheel was invented before us, but we motorized it. We gave the people the automobile. We put the world in the air. Automobile done here. The airplane done here. Space travel. I mean, look at what we've done. I mean, we can do more. There was not too long ago, we were having a big adventure in inventions one after another. Great people, great minds had a lot of time on their hands, and I'm playing around, invent something. Of course, they didn't have TV, they didn't have radio, they didn't have a lot of things. They had themselves. They spent their free time getting to know themselves. They were independent people. Get this? Independent people. So I'm looking at these live things. Okay. So I can't respond to a lot of the comments because my vision's going bad and they just keep flipping up. But people, all right, there is the American Revolution happening right now. The War of Independence is happening right now. And it's a psychological warfare. And when you watch the social media, it's a war on you. It's a war on me. It's a war on all of our individualism. They don't want us to be independent. They're forcing us to go from this side to the next side. And don't fall for it. All right? You know, I'm building a boat, 32 feet. My design, I'm building it. I've done about 95% of it. I've had help now and then for some things, but it's me. You know, and what are you doing that for? What are you trying to prove? Nothing to you. I could give a shit what you think, you know. But I'm going to do that. What it does prove unintentionally is a man still can do this. Okay, you can do that. You can do whatever you want to do within reason. You know, and this is who we used to be. People that were independent, trying their own ideas, not worrying about the fear of what if it doesn't go right. Oh, you could have made a big mistake. Let me clear something else up for you guys so you can go be independent individuals. There's a big difference between a mistake and a miscalculation. All right, a miscalculation is you make a plan and you look at that plan, I'm going to try this, and it doesn't work. That wasn't a mistake. That was a miscalculation. You took the information that you had and you decided to try something and it didn't work out as you planned. If you do the same thing again and get the same result, you failed, that's a failure. All right, you do the same thing again, that's a mistake. Do the third thing, now you're just stupid. All right, go out and make some miscalculations. Try something. Be independent, be unique. Here's something for you, the people, the musicians and all. And I used to play clarinet and saxophone, so I can relate to the musician part a bit. And I used to do it in bars and clubs throughout Washington, D.C. and so on. You know, it's sad that the only thing that I'm hearing on the radio are the same songs I've been listening to for the last 50 plus years, when there are such independent, great artists out there that you see only on YouTube. All right. One of the things that we can really do to kind of like really screw up this plan of the people creating the second War of Independence is to really support these artists on YouTube. Go to their channels, share their music, you know, make playlists from their songs and stuff like that. You know, it doesn't seem like much, but what you're doing is taking the attention away from the music mill that we've been listening to for the last 50 some years. People, we are in that war. It hasn't gotten to the gunfire and all that yet, because the people who are starting all this are still trying to figure out exactly what their next move should be. Hegelian effect, right? They start something, get back, try to figure out what's going on with what they just did, make another application to their plan, watch the results, the reactions of the people. Okay, don't fall for it. Keep your own course. You have to explore yourself to really figure out who you are, what you're made of. Test yourself. You know the people I really respect nowadays, all right, besides the great adventurers, extreme sport people, the parkour people, the skateboarders, the bicyclists, the people who are doing these crazy things and pushing the adrenaline, pushing the gravitation, pushing the physics. Yeah, sometimes they make some serious miscalculations, but they're going out and doing it again. We don't see enough of that. Share those videos. You know, here, there's a French guy I watched on YouTube cross the Atlantic in a 19-foot fiberglass boat. You look at this boat, it belongs on a lake in a nice day. I mean, realistically, the odds of him failing are pretty small considering the time of year that he went across, the speed of the boat. But see, this is the stuff that we used to do all the time. This is the stuff that Americans used to do. If a young man said, "Hey, I'm going to go, I'm going to sail up the coast of the United States in this 20-foot boat." Back in my day, when as a young man, I'm like, "Dude, that is so awesome. Good. Can I help you? Can I donate something? You know, I hope you write about." Remember, it was only letters back then. Write about it. Tell me what you did. I hope I hear from you. Because we didn't have the social media. Oh yeah, and he would leave without a phone, without GPS, and so on. And then I ended up doing the same kind of stuff. I sailed from Washington D.C. down to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, with on a 24-foot boat. My wife, I was married then, 6-month-old baby, my brother, and 2 dogs. Went through 2 gales and a hurricane. I mean, it's a long story, but it was a great adventure. I'm going to do more of those. I'm only 62 years old. I hope I have at least another 20 years of good adventures because I want to explore me more. All right? You should always be in a war of independence. So when I see this thing coming, I don't really consider it a bad thing. This is a great opportunity, people. This is a great opportunity for us to get up collectively as Americans and individualist, a collective individualism. This is where a chance where all of us under the pressure can really stand up and go, this is who I am. This is what I believe. I don't care what you people think, and you want to fight me for my opinion, let's go with it. I'll make an example out of you. And I'll also make an example out of me to show that I just don't back down because of my opinions. They're saying over 70-some% of Americans are ashamed or scared to tell about their political opinions because they might get shot down or whatever like that. Everybody needs to band together and protect the rights of the person expressing themselves. People, I'm listening to these Antifa and BLM and all this stuff. I think their cause is totally ridiculous. When you look at the statistics, really kind of shoot down their narrative, but I would fight for them to have the right to run their mouth and say all the stupid stuff they're saying because they have the right to do that. They have the right to peaceably assemble and protest, and I would fight for them to do that because that's the American way. People, and we'll go ahead and sign off here. We need to take what's happening seriously. We're watching it just continue. We're watching the apathy and inaction of the American government institutions, federal, state, and local, just bowing down because they're scared to make a move that's going to be criticized. Fine. Get those people out. We're looking at the global economy taking a severe hit. It's okay to go out and riot, but you can't go to work, can't go to a church, can't go to a worship, but you can go protest. What's that tell you? It's real plain and simple to me that they're condoning the agitation to further chaos. How could it be anything but that? When they don't allow you to go fishing with your kids, but you can go protest with your kids. Think about it, people. We have to stop being so apathetic. The inaction is killing us because as we watch it happen over there, we're just waiting for it to happen here. So every time you watch something, go, oh yeah, that's sad, and you don't try to do anything about it, you don't even speak up about it, just wait because it's coming to you. And that's history. Every time people just waited for something to happen, it did. The bad stuff finally made it to their doorstep. This is why in the first American Revolution, the people met the enemy on their grounds. And like I said, we can do this first off by just flooding the offices of the politicians with phone calls, writing the envelope that just says, get another job, you're finished. Okay? We have to start right now, people. We have no choice if we want to have a peaceful future in the United States of America. We have to do this. You can go, I'm going to start my blog on, it's already up, it's blueplanetshaman.com. Thanks to Eli Glez Valle. I'm on Instagram. I'm around. You can find me. It's shamaniclodge@gmail.com. If you like anything else, I could do a video on any questions about stuff. I get to people, not always immediately, but I do the best I can with it. And when the boat's in the water, I'll be having more adventures to put up on videos. And if anybody wants to come along with that, I'm gonna have a couple questions for you. But yeah, I'll be welcome to have guests on there. Let's keep it strong, people. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it, the way, the American way, the way it was originally intended. Catch you guys later.